2026 Candidates Tournament is here. This is the biggest and most exciting tournament in the chess world and one of my favorite sporting events ever. Yes, my productivity in life takes a hit because I'm basically glued to my computer watching chess for like 2 weeks straight, but you have to get invested in things or life is really long and boring. So, we are ranking the candidates today. I know most people do tier lists, but I think rankings are more definitive, more committal, and just more exciting generally, so let's get out of the gate with some introductions. First, our returning players. Fabiano Caruana. Rating as of this video, 2795, world number 3. From the USA, he's not a good podcaster, but he is an excellent chess player. This will be his 6th consecutive Candidates Tournament, and he's the only player who has actually won it before. In 2018, he went on to face Magnus Carlsen. Spoiler alert, he did not win. But if losing against possibly the greatest chess player in history is the biggest flaw on your resume, you're doing pretty good. He also kind of reminds me of a young Jerry from the Pixar short Jerry's Game, so I think that gives him an edge. Hikaru Nakamura. Rating as of this video, 2810. World number 2. Also from the USA. So if we could get rid of this Magnus Carlsen guy, the world number 1 and 2 players would be both American. And I think the world is just really clamoring for more American leadership right now. Hikaru was my first choice for the last Candidates Tournament. I think he is still a heavy favorite this time around. Although he is 38 years old, which is practically dead, Hikaru is one of the most crafty and resilient players out there. I think that his streaming career actually keeps him sharp in a way that a lot of top-level players might struggle with at his age. I would also speculate that he's second only to Magnus Carlsen in terms of intimidation factor for players sitting across the board from him, which in a tournament where nerves are already running high like the Candidates Tournament is not insignificant. Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa, or Pragg. He is currently rated 2741, world ranking number 12, from India. He played his first Candidates Tournament in 2024 in the last go-around, and he was one of several Indian players, Gukesh, him, and Fide. So he's here alone this time, carrying the hopes of the nation all on his own shoulders as he goes into this tournament. So that's got to add some pressure. On the other hand, it is his second tournament, so he's going to be more comfortable, he's got to feel more emboldened, and he is 20, so still very young, but he has a lot going for him. I expect great things from Pragg on this tournament. Anish Giri, rated 2753 as of this video, and he's world number 8 from the Netherlands. So this is Anish's 3rd candidate tournament. His previous 2 were in 2016 and 2020, so that was kind of before I started watching top level chess. Yes, I came back to chess because of the Queen's Gambit, sue me. So I mainly knew him as a chess commentator and honestly a poster. He is very active on x.com, the everything app. And in one famous incident, he accused Magnus Carlsen of being an alcoholic who frequents strip clubs, and he also accused other chess professionals of hiring 17-year-old prostitutes. Now, when I say he did this, I should say his account did this, and he claims that he was hacked. That may be true, but what that says more about, I think, to me, is that he is so chaotic and unpredictable that it seemed plausible at the time, and still seems plausible to a number of people that maybe he did actually do that stuff. He also has this reputation for being very drawish, or making a lot of draws. So that kind of contradicts what we were just talking about as being unpredictable and inflammatory and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. He's a weird guy. So this is where our returning players end and our first-time players begin. Next up, we have Matthias Blübaum, who is, as of this video, rated 2698, and he's world number 30 from Germany. Matthias qualified by being a runner-up in the Fide Grand Swiss Tournament in 2025, and I will be honest, I don't really know a lot about him. I have not watched him play a whole lot. I did watch some of his games in the qualifying tournament, including the draw against fellow German Vincent Keimer. Held Vincent Keimer to a draw, and that kept Keimer from winning that tournament or from going into the lead in that tournament and kind of sealed his fate. So at the risk of falling into German stereotypes, and I am largely German, so I'm somewhat allowed, I would say that he is pragmatic, logical, and very consistent, but maybe not the most exciting player. He's also significantly lower rated than all the players we've discussed so far, so he's definitely not favored to win. Next up, Javokhir Sindarov. Rating as of this video, 2745, world number 11 from Uzbekistan. Like Pragg, he is only 20 years old, and he's had a very good year. He might actually be peaking at the perfect time. He's a very exciting player. He plays really aggressively. I just scanned through some of his games and he's like constantly just like sacking rooks for bishops and letting his pawns get doubled and doing all these things that like on paper seem bad, but he's somehow able to spin them to his advantage and ends up winning by like perfectly corralling his opponent's pieces and walking a pawn across the board to promote to a queen. And most importantly, he's not afraid. He doesn't seem to get nervous playing against Magnus Carlsen, playing against Hikaru Nakamura, and that's going to serve him really well here. Now, I do have a confession. My favorite chess player currently is Nodirbek Abdusattorov. He is the other Uzbek phenomenon chess player, about the same age, and he did not qualify for this tournament. I do sort of have like a Boromir, Faramir, the wrong brother died complex about Javokhir being here, but I am glad he's here. We're going to get some great games out of him. But next time, Nodirbek, you better be there. Andrey Esipenko, rated 2698 currently, world number 30. Yes, these are the same stats as Matthias Blübaum. Yes, I also don't really know that much about him. Similarly, have seen him play in tournaments a little bit. I've not paid super close attention. He is from Russia, and he's replacing Nepo on the top stage from that country. And if he achieves half as much as Nepo did, that would put him playing a world championship in 6 months. So big shoes to fill. I went through some of his games. I found him clinical and very comfortable playing long games consistently. I didn't find a lot of like superstar quality in his chess. I could be wrong, but he will be a good player for some of the more dynamic players to bounce off of. And lastly, Wei Yi, current rating 2754, world number 7, from China. Wei Yi is the youngest ever player to reach 2700, which he did at age 15. But when I started watching chess in 2020, 2021, he was not really talked about a lot. And apparently that's because he kind of stepped back from chess. He focused on his education. He was in college. He kept playing, but he wasn't playing at the top level as much. He's been back with a vengeance for the last couple years, and he is really exciting to watch. He plays really aggressively, and I think that's kind of how he came out of the gate. You know, as a young player, just this crazy attacking style. But more recently, I think he's matured into a more balanced player. So he's also just a player that when I go through his games or I'm watching live, he just finds moves that I would never think to play. And that is very exciting to me. He is wily as and I think his comeback story is going to be really compelling for people. Okay, so we've gone through the players. How do we rank them? I'm going to do this based on perceived strength as well as narrative potential, because chess is not just logic, it's also romance. So let's start at the bottom. Number 8, Matthias Blübaum. Sorry, Matthias, it's nothing personal, but I think just your inexperience combined with not really having a great story, it's hard to find the compelling case for you to win. It's your first time at this tournament, and I think you're going to have your work cut out just battling nerves as well as battling these players at their height of their game. Number 7, Andrey Esipenko. I think he will acquit himself well, but he will need to find moments of inspiration over and over again against the best players in the world in the most intense, challenging tournament in the world, in addition to staying reliably within his repertoire. Number 6, Anish Giri. Am I letting my personal bias creep in with this ranking? Number 5, Pragg. He finished middle of the pack in the last tournament, and I think he's going to finish similarly in this one. I think there's actually just as many players who are going to pose major problems for him in this tournament as there were in the last one, if not more, starting with our next ranking. Number 4, Javokhir Sindarov. Fortune favors the bold. I think his fearlessness is going to serve him really well, especially against the lower rated players that we've just ranked. If he can rack up a lot of wins early on, while other players are settling for draws or not willing to commit to these dramatic plays when they don't have to, I think he can position himself really well early on in the tournament. Number 3, Wei Yi. I'm a sucker for a narrative, and I think he has the best one. My prediction is he wreaks havoc on this tournament at every opportunity that he gets. He also just has like this cold, dispassionate presence that I personally would find terrifying to play against. So I am ranking him pretty high. Number 2, Fabiano Caruana. Obviously, it's a toss-up between Fabi and Hikaru for the top spot. Fabi has the track record, the prep, the composition to make it all happen, and yet those final victories sometimes just seem to elude him. As well-credentialed as he is, I just have a feeling that this is not his year. Which leads us to number 1, Hikaru Nakamura. As many times as he says he literally does not care, this is the biggest tournament, this is the highest honor in chess. I think he wants this and he has all the tools to take it. You can never count him out, no matter how bad his position is, and I expect him to make a few comeback wins over the course of this tournament that are only going to add to the momentum that he already has going in. And like I said, he just has this intimidation factor that he is like a giant, he is a legend, and I think especially for these players who it's their first time there, it's going to be tough to face him. So, did I let the vibes get the better of me? Do I have the wrong order? Thanks for watching. Please follow me at Condor Chess on Twitch and YouTube for more chess videos.